Ivan Toney to Arsenal is on. They would have bid for him in the summer if the ban had not been in place. And Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that the striker will leave Brentford in 2024. We're also going to take a look at the exit of Jadon Sancho, and three big clubs are circling and looking to sign him and take him away from his personal Manchester United hell. Hit the like button, subscribe to the Football Terrace, turn on those bell notifications as well. Let's go. Fabrizio Romano here has confirmed that Ivan Toney will leave Brentford in 2024. Whether that's in the January or whether that's in the summer is yet to be confirmed. And essentially, that's going to come down to how much people bid. Brentford are a selling club. They will sell Toney in January for the right money. I don't have to be in the know to have this understanding. Thomas Frank himself has confirmed this, has stated this. That's it. That's it. The fact that Arsenal were interested in the summer, but the only reason they failed to bid the £60 million asking price is because the player was banned, makes a lot of sense. It would also kind of give Arsenal fans the answers as to why they didn't chase any other forwards. If the idea is come January to move for, in my opinion, one of the best centre forwards in Premier League football. Now, on top of this, you have to look at what Fabrizio Romano has said. He has stated that both Arsenal and Chelsea have asked to understand the conditions of the player, in personal terms, what he would be available for, would he be interested in joining their club. Fabrizio has been very, very forthright in stating that Arsenal have, at this stage, not made it clear what they're going to do in January in terms of transfers, whether it's a striker or other areas. And I think that's a sensible position to take at this moment in time from the Gunners, because they don't know how the land is going to lie come January. They could be scoring lots of goals, be very strong in that area, but have picked up 2 or 3 really bad injuries in other departments and need to reinforce there. They may want Ivan Toney, but sometimes priorities change due to how well you're playing, where injuries happen in the squad, etc. What could also force their hand is how hard Chelsea and Tottenham are also chasing the individual. Is his head turned by them? Would they prefer a move to the other part of North London, to the Lily Whites, or to West London? That could push Arsenal to go, do you know, we can't wait until the summer. Although we need to prioritize a midfielder, really, we might miss out on a long-standing target that we really want to have at the football club. So there are lots of ups and downs. I'm seeing a lot of talk online that Arsenal are the closest to an agreement. And that's the question that I have for you today. Do you believe Arsenal are close to an agreement on this? Or do you believe it's completely and utterly open? And if you're Ivan Toney right now, who would you want to join? Where would you want to join? Who would you want to play for out of these clubs, genuinely? I'm so intrigued to understand where people sit on this side of the conversation. I'm intrigued to get it, to understand it, to digest what you think and feel surrounding these situations, because it's very, very intriguing indeed to me. I think Arsenal would be the outright choice for him. I couldn't understand why right now, with where Arsenal are in comparison to the others, genuinely why you wouldn't look at Arsenal over the other two. But you in the comment section might have some real good reasons and challenges to this. So let me now know in the comment section. But as confirmed by Fabrizio, he will leave in 2024. And I think this could be one of the biggest sagas of the January window. But the race starts now. It doesn't start in January. It starts now because the clubs are doing their work. They're having their conversations. They're doing their due diligence. Very intriguing indeed. Now, staying with Arsenal, there's also interest in the young Englishman, the 19-year-old at Dortmund. I want to pronounce his name right. Jamie, I think it's pronounced Bino Grittins. Now, I might have pronounced that wrong. If I have, I apologize. I don't know too much about this young lad. But again, when you don't know much about somebody, what do? You research them, read up the scouting reports, look at what they're doing, where they're at, where they're playing, the ability of said individuals. And look, 25 or so games now for Borussia Dortmund. He's got experience at European level. He's an interesting target. I mean, it fits the profile of lots of players that Arsenal have purchased in the last 3 to 4 years. Young, extremely talented, plays for the England under-21s. What did he do? He actually did. I'm looking here, actually. I didn't realize it's about him until looking now. Did his youth career at Reading and then Chelsea, then back at Reading, and then at Manchester City. So there's a great youth and academy level pedigree within him as well. Plus the fact that he's now playing first team football, one of the best leagues in Europe. So another interesting player that Arsenal were looking at in terms of where he can play, what he's... Now, look, the outputs are quite low. He isn't doing a Jadon Sancho or a Haaland at Dortmund, but a real interesting one for Arsenal fans to take a look at. Do your research on and let me know what you think and feel about him. Now, moving on to Manchester United, a big report here from the Muppeteers that Jadon Sancho is available for transfer. And as it stands, he's likely to leave in January on loan to buy a deal, with a loan with an option to buy a deal. Tottenham, Newcastle, and Borussia Dortmund are interested. That's what the Muppeteers said. Now, Dortmund have come out since this report and stated they are not interested in re-signing Jadon Sancho. So that team, it's been debunked. But Newcastle and Tottenham are still big teams. They're not giant teams like Man United or Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, but they're big teams. And I actually think, a lot of people believe... I know it's not about me. There's a lot of Man United fans who don't believe that other Man United fans rate Jadon Sancho, and that's wrong. I think there is so much talent. I just think where he is in his life, joining Manchester United in the position that we find ourselves as a club, it's just been a poor relationship. It's been a poor marriage. It's been a poor combination. I love myself a little cheese sandwich. I also don't mind a little jam sandwich either, especially when I was younger. But I would never put cheese and jam in between two pieces of bread at the same time. For me, that's gross. And sometimes this happens in football. You'll get a player join a manager at a club, and sometimes it can be the right love at the wrong time. And I believe that's what's happened here. And I do hope Jadon Sancho gets a move away. However, I would prefer the move to be outside the Premier League, because my belief is that Jadon Sancho will cook at his next club. I just have a feeling it will go right for him. So I don't want that to be in the Premier League with a team challenging Man United for honours. Now, you could argue that Newcastle and Spurs are not challengers, but some would say they're better than Man United right now. So why would I want to make them better? But I do hope that he gets his move away. If he cannot repair the situation with Ten Hag, if there is a belief between him and the kind of management at the club that it's never really going to work out, let's do everybody a favour, not prolong the inevitable. And let's move him on sooner rather than later. I still think now you could recoup a good 30, 40, 45, 50 million pound of the fee that Manchester United paid. Whether or not, you might have to go less than that if they're not willing to give him salary anywhere near what we pay him. So maybe you have to take 25, 30 million because you're going to have to subsidize if they pay the full salary. Maybe you do get 45 million, but you've still got to pay some of his salary. In the end, it will net itself off. So, maybe you do accept a 25 million pound bid, but it means you have no wage obligation moving forward. That may be the best option. United will lose out on this. We'll lose out financially, and we will be losing a very, very talented player. There is no doubt about it. But as of right now, I just don't think he has a future at the club. Some teams are now coming in for him. Let's wait and see what happens. Now, in terms of potential replacements, there is a report that Man United are amongst the club scouting the Club Brugge winger Antonio Nusa. Now, for me, again, I don't know much about this kid. I've seen Arsenal linked to him, Man United linked to him. I'm intrigued, and I'm going to go and do my research. I'm going to go and read up. I've read a few things. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty promising. But I'm honestly at a point with Man United now where I find it really hard to get excited about signings. Nearly every single time that I do, it goes wrong. So I think maybe in terms of speaking to the football gods, I should just remain very neutral in every signing Manchester United make. That might actually help us be improved. I don't know. Am I the one? I don't know if any of you ever feel like this. Sometimes I feel like I'm the reason Man United are bad. It could be, I don't know. I was standing up watching the game and we were winning, and then I sat down and we started playing badly. Is me sitting down creating the butterfly effect that made us lose? Is me bigging up signings the reason why in the end we're failing? I know that sounds a little narcissistic and a little bit like main character syndrome. It is also meant to be a little bit flippant and a little bit satire before any of you go a little bit crazy, but I do sometimes feel that way. Look, people, let me know your thoughts and feelings on these stories in the comment section below. Until next time, people, look after yourselves, hit like buttons, subscribe, turn on that bell notification as well, and we'll see you all again.